So we have trans representation and kicking the shit out of rapists. I can get behind this. Hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with episode 5 of Lazarus. Last episode was really cool. It was this kind of infiltration mission. We were trying to find information that we could find out from this basically social media guy. And his DJ friend who was, just as scummy. And we see how they're going to drug and rape these girls. And so Chris goes undercover along with the boy, I can never remember his name. But he goes undercover pretending to be a young girl too because he's so young and I guess androgynous enough to pull it off. But they manage to find some information out, kick the shit out of the rapists, and escape. Everyone works together. We get to see really everyone on the team shine in that episode. All of them get to handle their own little things. Chris fighting. We get to obviously see Axel running and chasing down the bad guys even as they go off in their helicopter. We get to see Doug getting his action on, suplexing a dude through a glass table, which is just badass. When you have a character suplexing a dude through a glass table, it's that is the amount of extra that I'm into. But even the kid gets to help out using his drone skills and everything. Everyone does something, and everyone gets to have a role. The hacker girl's helping, from a distance, using her hacker skills to track things down, figure things out still. Everyone is doing something. And everyone gets a focus. And it doesn't feel overstuffed. I've seen a lot of shows where it's you have a big cast and you're trying to give them all a focus. And it ends up feeling like you're just forcing too much in. You're forcing too much content in at once and it feels unnatural. And so, yeah. I'm glad that this one makes it feel very real in that regard. And the kind of mission they're on, it makes sense that they would all have something to do here. I think that's what really helps it. And I'm sure, working on this, Shinichiro Watanabe understood that. And made sure, based on all of his, previous works, to make sure things went as smoothly as possible. Because, Cowboy Bebop usually got that down pretty well. Samurai Champloo got it down pretty well. Carol and Tuesday, Space Dandy. So it's we're kind of used to it with him. Shinichiro Watanabe's works tend to handle stuff like that better than some others. And to go with an example with One Piece. One Piece has such a massive cast that they can't. that Oda, when he's writing the manga, cannot have them all in the same chapter have their chance to shine. Each character, each member of the crew, but also each ally that they have in the different arcs, they have to have their time split between chapters, or in the case of the anime, the episodes, because there's just not enough time for every character to get a chance to shine all at once. There's too many characters for that. There are some episodes where they all work together, where it's the entire crew acting as one, but that's mostly rare. You do see it on occasion on big hype moments, but for the most part they're kind of separated during the arc, and you'll see certain parts of the group doing things at a time. And in some arcs, some of the characters just aren't around. For half of Dressrosa, 4 members of the cast. Sanji, Nami, Chopper, and was there anyone else besides Momo? I'm not counting Momo because he's not part of the crew. No, Brooke. Brooke was the other one. But they all left halfway through Dressrosa and were in the rest of the arc. Which was smart on Oda, because there wasn't enough time to really do enough with them. He chose to sacrifice a few characters to focus on the others. And they came back later. They came back at the next arc. But like Whole Cake Island, you also had to cut out some characters there, like Zoro and Usopp, etc., etc. Sometimes you just have to cut out some of the characters. And the characters that are cut out can, like, change up and everything. But that's a big show like One Piece. Something like this is, a lot smaller scale. There's a lot less characters to focus on. We really only have our main group. There are other characters who pop up, but they're either antagonists or people we're trying to, like, talk to. They're side characters. We don't have to worry about sharing the screen time with them as much. But even with episodes before episode 4, the characters were like, for episode 2 and 3, for example, they were kind of splitting up their focus. We had, like, missions with, like, specific characters. And so, last episode, having, like, everyone focused on so expressly, it was just really well done. But we didn't really find as much out as we wanted to. We didn't get as much information on finding Skinner as we hoped. We did get a lead. We have a little bit of a lead, but that's about it. And I guess today we're going to see where that lead goes. So let's get into the episode and find out. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, while everybody in this episode had their role to play and everything, except the kid, like, he really didn't do much of anything in this episode. He definitely sat out. But while, like, everyone else had their role to play, this was Elena's episode. Like, it was her time to shine, and it really came down to a hacker battle between her and Popcorn Wizard, who I guess is Lynn? But yeah. This was really interesting because things weren't resolved and we didn't really find out anything. This entire plan ended up going to ruin. If Lynn, or Popcorn Wizard, I don't know what to call her. I'll go with Popcorn Wizard because that's the confirmed name. Code name, but still. If Popcorn Wizard truly is working for Skinner, then that's definitely something we need to continue to follow up on. But we don't have any evidence of that right now. This entire plan was to lure out Skinner or like try to find something anyway. Like through a hacker who might be working for him, but we don't actually know if she's working for him. We have no genuine clue. And Skinner himself didn't show up, because of course he didn't. I still think he would have seen through this. Like this presentation and everything, this medical summit on like finding a cure just out of nowhere. It's like Skinner would have seen through that. He's too smart, let's be honest here. So it's kind of a matter of we have nothing. to indicate anything about his location or anything in regards to that. So it's really curious. Now, Popcorn Wizard absolutely could be working for him, but we just, again, we don't know. The plan was really good. It's just, it was used against the wrong kind of person. That's the issue. Popcorn Wizard herself seems very interesting. Like, she has, like, a very loud, vibrant personality. Also seems to have no qualms about just throwing tech off a cliff. It's like, oh, I've been compromised. See ya, laptop. Which implies to me that either she has plenty of backups or is being funded, which could imply that she is working directly with Skinner, but again, we have no real evidence of such. And she did out-hack Elena, which is a problem, obviously. Because while Elena basically did state already that, like, the more difficult a situation is, the more a hacker wants to, hack it. It's like, and obviously that means that this is going to spur Elena on to do even better going forward. It was a complete and total loss for us here. Because we even found out from the CEO of Delta Medical, it's like they didn't know as we thought. They didn't actually know. But once they found out, like, especially like when it was confirmed when that one monkey that they had done the testing trials on died, they had been putting everything into trying to find a cure. And it's been stressing this dude out so much, like he's become extremely depressed and anxious and just not okay. He hasn't even been getting good sleep at all, which we saw. It, like, visualized that for us to, like, show that he wasn't lying about that. He was so scared. And that's fair. But we also saw that when given the opportunity to fight back, he took it. And it gave him hope again. He found a reason to, fight back, to believe that things could change. That people could be saved with all of this. And he instantly went to work with them. He instantly cooperated entirely. And you have to give him credit for that. Like, for being the CEO of this big company, it's like you would think he'd be like this corrupt, terrible person, but he actually seems pretty chill. We already dealt with the corrupt, terrible person last episode, though, so I guess fair enough. I also really like how Axel just walked in the front door. They're like trying to find every sneaky way in, and Axel's just like, I'm just gonna walk in. And mind you, he does get caught by security, and they do try to take him out and everything. Does not work because he's an excellent fighter, but it's like, he just went in the front door, and it worked. He was entirely successful. That's really funny. And I think that was kind of like a little bit of a breakdown, a bit of a takedown, even, of a lot of these kind of like infiltration missions in movies, whether it's a full-on spy film or whatever else. You see in a lot of these movies, even like John Wick and the like. I say that obviously because of Chad Stahelski. I probably got his last name wrong, but Chad S. Working on this, and him being the creator of John Wick. But anyway, you see it in a lot of these movies where it's like they go through these insanely convoluted ways of getting into a building, sneaking into a building. Even my favorite video game of all time, Detroit Become Human, has a section with this. Um, and Axel just circumvents that entire idea just by walking in the front door. And again, being entirely successful. Like, he just succeeded on every level. It's just like, okay, that's really funny. Um, yeah, this was a really good one. Definitely sets up for the future because obviously Popcorn Wizard is going to be a recurring character. She's definitely not a one and done after that. I don't know if she's gonna be like in the next episode right away, but she's definitely coming back. The hacker battle with her and Elena is not over yet. Also, she's just way too interesting of a character design to not bring back. Like, she has such a unique, fascinating design. And I know the same people complaining about woke shit with having, a trans character and whatnot, um, are going to absolutely have also bitched about her. They are going to like really bitch about just her design, if nothing else. Because those kind of people do that. Those kind of like right wing people who like constantly bitch about woke DEI stuff and whatnot. They hate character designs that they deem equivalent of that they see as like representative of woke culture, which is I keep saying woke in like verbal air quotes for a reason because it's a stupid term that is entirely misused and everything. It's just it's dumb. But people like that absolutely complain about designs like this. I've seen it time and time again. And with the case of Popcorn Wizard's character, she's absolutely going to be seen as that kind of like Gen Z type character. Although it wouldn't technically be Gen Z in this, but and I like the design. Like I think the design is like really cool and really stands out. Amongst all the other designs. And I like the normal designs for this too. Because it's like you see like Chris and Axel and Doug, and they all look like, ordinary people, but they all also have their own style, their own like feel to their designs. Everyone feels like they're so uniquely and intentionally designed in a way that makes them come across as authentic. Authentic but unique. And I think more shows need to learn that you can have unique, interesting character designs without being all super wacky. You can just have diversity with your character designs, and that alone will make them stand out. This show definitely proves that. You don't have to be One Piece where every character looks like their body has been like transformed it by something. Where body types and physical like um features are so excessively exaggerated um on a good amount of characters. Not all of them. Some characters have like pretty normal bodies, even if their proportions are just bigger or they're like just larger in general. Still, but the point is, sometimes your character designs can just be like ordinary people, but have enough diversity in clothing and looks and just, realistic physical features that it makes them feel like their own people. Because that's how people are in real life. The ways they dress, the way they do their makeup, the way they do their hair. It's like this is how people differentiate themselves. Even the way they carry themselves, the way they walk, can be a good way to differentiate a character. Having them have a different gait to them can really allow them to stand out. And I love subtle character design diversities like that. They just are so good. And don't get me wrong, I like crazy looking characters. I like characters who look really wacky or like have loud fashion senses like Popcorn Wizard here. Like, I'm fine with that. But sometimes all you need is the simple stuff. So, yeah, this episode definitely gave me quite a bit of interesting stuff to think about, and I'm very curious to see where it ends up going. Um, I have a lot of hopes for this. This was another really good episode. But tell me what you thought down in the comments below. And for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.